Good morning. I'm Renee Wolf-Foster. On September 1st of 2018, I was in a grim mood. The feline love of my life, 6-year-old Sammy, was in congestive heart failure. My job responsibilities had just tripled, demanding 12-hour days, stealing precious time away from him. And I reported to someone who thought cats were sneaky and certainly couldn't understand why I loved him so much. We were at the morning buzz in Amesbury, our Saturday routine. Stephen had brought the Daily News. I opened it to the In the Spirit column entitled, "It's Not Easy Being New," written by the Reverend Rebecca Bryan. It was a week before her first sermon at FRS. I read it, and then I read it again, and after the third time, I handed the paper to Stephen, and I said, "We're going to church next Sunday." For context, I have never wanted to go to church. The only religion I had growing up was my mother's strongly held belief that God would get me if I was a bad girl, which is something I carry to this day, much to my chagrin. I have a very small family, smaller now. And I don't make friends easily. I often wished I belonged to some kind of community, so I tried to find one every place I worked. I am propelled by love. It has not always steered me in the safest direction, but it is a huge part of my being. I've always wanted to take care of people. When I had to leave nursing because I couldn't bear to see families suffering, I went into administration and tried to create supportive workplaces where people could feel safe and appreciated. And God helped me. I somehow managed to find jobs where the CEOs really didn't like people, and especially not people like me. I've learned the hard way that there is such a thing as caring too much. It can literally cost you your job. So I eventually gave up trying to find a place to belong, to be accepted for who I really am. About 6 or 7 years ago, Stephen would suggest that perhaps we might find a church community of kindred spirits. And my emphatic response was, which he remembers well, "Leave me alone." I have enough responsibility and people telling me what to think already. So he was understandably surprised by my announcement. And then he read the article and he said, "Oh yes. This is the part of Reverend Becker's article that changed my mind and my life. I believe that we are a people who are called by love and that we will be guided by love. What that looks like is something we will find out together. I do know, however, that it is more than just words. It is about action." When I read that, something inside me, which I later realized was my heart, shouted, "Yes, this one. And it's about damn time you loved out loud." I found joy in places and at times that felt nothing short of miraculous. That's why I've learned to believe in a loving, great spirit, and this was one of those times. So we went to church, and we heard Reverend Rebecca's very first sermon, and she hugged us in the receiving line, and we fell in love. We joined FRS 2 months later. We lost our sweet Sammy the following February. My job was eating me alive. Kristen Fellaber was looking for volunteers who liked organizational development to begin working on the Mission and Vision Initiative. I wanted to do something to support Reverend Rebecca, so I volunteered. Poor Stephen accused me of trying to do him in, as this was very unlike me. I admit my hands were shaking when I sent that email. I had sat through hundreds of meetings in my career, but that first VME meeting will always shine in my memory. All these people talking about how much they care about the church, about the beloved community, about how happy and excited they were to welcome Reverend Rebecca and create an even stronger church together. I fell in love again and just kept looking for more ways to work with these people. I joined the VME core team in 2019, working on the congregational conversations to develop vision, missions, and ends. Stephen used to tease me that I'd wind up on the parish board someday, and I kept saying, "Nope. No way. I want nothing to do with church politics. I just want to support Reverend Becca." As it turned out, The best way I could think of to support her was to join the parish board. Yes, my love, you were right. I am now in my second year on the board, involved in the third VME core team and working with Reverend Rebecca and other board members on a new round of congregational conversations. This one designed to help us talk to each other about the topics where we may not agree, but take the time and make the effort to listen, stay connected, and strengthen our beloved community. I used to think the phrase beloved community was just you speak for congregation, and that Reverend Rebecca was the true heart of this church. I've come to realize that although she does have superpowers, she can only do so much, that the strength of this church and our ability to act with courage and transform our world really is to journey together in love, together. We're a tropical rainforest of beliefs, spiritual ideologies, and interests, and it's not easy to care about people. It's not easy to open our hearts and let others in. We have all been hurt and disappointed by other people. They can happen anywhere, even here. I come from a family that doesn't often try to work through disagreements. They just sort of give up on each other. We can't do that here and still call this a beloved community. We have to care about each other enough to want to keep talking, even when it's hard, to listen, even if we don't agree. It's Giving Sunday, and we're asking you to make a pledge to ensure the church's financial health. Please consider coming to one of the congregational conversations described in the order of service to protect the health of our beloved community. This is my beloved community. You are my kindred spirits. I have found you. I am not letting go. And as my father used to say about money, kindred spirits don't just grow on trees, not even in tropical rainforests. Thank you.